What's up, humans, and welcome to a new Psicoactivo. It's a late night Friday. I'm sorry that I'm delivering a video so late right now for people in the Western side of the world. For people in Europe, Australia, and other parts, good morning or good afternoon, I guess. I guess it's Saturday now where you are. So, hi. Okay, so Friday was a really busy day for me. I've been getting ready for tomorrow's interview with Professor Jeffrey Kripal. So, in about 10 hours, I'm going to be sitting down with them. And, well, he's one of the first in my top three list of people that I wanted to interview when I started doing content about UFOs on this channel, because I think he's essential to explain what psionics is and human potential, um, and also answer a lot of the questions that I have based on my life experiences, because I got a lot of questions still. If someone can help me answer some of them, it's him. And I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only one who has experienced these things before. From the very first experience I had with that shaman when I was a teenager to my decade-long psychedelic experiences and the near-death experience that I had in 2014, and then everything that's happened since, which completely changed my life, and even more so than it was already changed, because after that experience with the shaman, my life changed dramatically. And then after my first psychedelic trip and my first ego death, my life changed dramatically too. Then after my near death experience, my life changed dramatically too. And that last one was for the better, I gotta say. So I do have a lot of questions based on that for Professor Kripal. And I mean, he's like, you guys know that I speak about this universal language concept. And this is something that I still believe to this day that the mushroom taught me. And if there's like a universal linguist that I consider, it would be someone like Professor Kripal, because he honestly doesn't take anything off the table. And I love that about him. So I'm excited. You guys should be excited too. There's a couple of surprises that you may not know about him that make him intimately involved with everything that's going on right now. His connections run deep. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to ask him about everything. But Friday was, apart from the preparation for this, there were like a bunch of different media pieces, like 3 or 4 interviews and the news from Matt Laszlo, the Christian Harloff covered about the drones. Apparently, one of the drones from Langley went down during that 2023 December swarm that happened at Langley. So that's a really interesting one. I'm going to leave links for everything I mentioned in the description so you guys can check it out. There's also 2 Lou Elizondo interviews. The second one with Julian Dorey over the last couple of months, or last month, I think. This second one I really like because Julian is not afraid of asking anything. And that means also a lot of the drama that goes on surrounding Lou. And I've never really felt like anybody could have that freedom to ask him about this drama, because I know that a lot of people around Lou don't even want to pay attention to it, but it's happening. There's a lot of confrontations, a lot of nasty stuff between those involved happening, a lot of naysaying, a lot of pointing fingers and all that stuff. So I'm glad that Lou addressed some of this. And kudos to Julian for asking about this, because I think it is important to talk about everything, even though I know that Lou doesn't like to talk about the negativity. The other interview he did was one interview that I didn't think I would see. If I'm honest with you, Lou was on the Shawn Ryan show. And I remember when Dr. Stephen Greer went to the Shawn Ryan show and he said that Lou was a disinfo agent, and Shawn Ryan seemed to agree. And in subsequent interviews he did with other people from the UFO topic, he made some assertions that point towards him thinking Lou is a disinfo agent. So I didn't think I would see Lou on that show, but he was there. And the interview was surprisingly respectful. They talked about a lot of the politics of UAP and everything that's going on about the intelligence community. And, well, Shawn is a military man, and he's also been involved with the intelligence community. So it only makes sense that they would talk about that kind of stuff. Another interview that I saw was American Alchemy and the Yes Theory interviewed Whitley Strieber.
I think, oh my God, I have a shotgun under the bed and a pistol in the side table. I'm from Texas, and I'm going to be gunned up at all times.
In the 90s, at some point, I was standing in front of the bookstore, and that book just like stood out for me. And it was something about seeing the eyes again that almost created like a moment of regression.
It might be that this is a time right now where we have to be very careful about preserving our dominion of our reality.
There's something in your body that you believe is an implant. I feel like
right here.
Can we see it?
You touch it. You can't. I don't. You touch it if you want to. I feel like 2 years I can give you a CT scan of it.
Is it okay? Was it weird if I touch it, or is it okay?
No, it's fine. But I feel like it might be a little hot because it's been working.
2-3 years ago.
2-3 years ago, if you had
told someone,
go ahead, touch it. Don't be scared.
Okay, wait.
Here.
I'm kind of scared.
It's right under my finger now.
Oh my God.
He's the author of Communion and now The Fourth Mind and other books. And he's like the world's most famous experiencer alongside Chris Bledsoe. And they talked about his implant, his abduction experience, a number of figures that he met during his time investigating this. He talked about the Greys in a very open fashion. And I think that this new trend of experiencers coming forward and talking about this so matter-of-factly can be really refreshing for other experiencers. I think it's a good thing. I know that there's a lot of negativity and a lot of naysaying to pretty much every experiencer that decides to come forward. I know that there's people that have genuine curiosity, and that's cool. I mean, you can have genuine curiosity, just I don't think engaging in just like insults and disrespect is going to do anything for the topic or satisfy people's curiosity. It's just going to perpetuate the negativity and the everything that's wrong with this movement. That interview was really interesting to me. I'm going to leave the link in the description as well. And the other one that I saw, which is the one that I liked the most, I got to say, the production level on Area 52, the channel, is second to none. It's like some of the best productions I've seen in the topic. And Chris Ramsey actually went to North Carolina to speak to both Ryan Bledsoe and Chris Bledsoe.
I could see what looked like the sun, the same size, but it was more blood red.
And somebody points up in the sky. We all look up, and there are a ton of different little lights in the sky.
And they flew out away, and they come back together, and they went around in circles. It looked like somebody choreographed them.
See what looked like bright stars descending slowly.
And it just like dropping, like I said, it looked like a piece of hot steel or something.
And that's when the panic set in,
It was really dark. You just looked like little creatures, little skinny, like a shadow almost.
It's about 5 feet off the ground, just sitting there hovering, and it looked like an egg came straight at me. And next thing I know, I'm in a black room. This light started to appear around me, to where I began to see these 3 shadowy figures. It felt like a bubble that I could touch the walls, but I couldn't see them. And I'm seeing the Sphinx from the rear. Then I see Hathor's temple, and this is the lady. Everybody talks about this figure, the lady. On the gaze of the Sphinx, Regulus should appear right on top of the sand. That at that moment would be a shift into a whole new consciousness, a new knowledge.
I'm going to name an agency. You just say yes or no, whether they contacted you, whether you had contact with them. CIA?
Yes.
DIA?
Yes.
DOD?
Yes.
NSA?
Yes. And many more.
You met a gentleman by the name of Tim Taylor.
He goes to Camp David and meets with the president. I introduced Tim Taylor to Diana Pasulk, and they became friends. And then they went over to the archives. There was a ceremony in my honor that they held, and they put my picture and the picture of the archives when they went in the basement.
There is a famous video out there of one of these UFOs taking down one of these rockets that they were shooting up.
I've seen it.
Who showed this to you?
Taylor did. It's things I don't want to talk about.
In the book, there is mention of metamaterials.
I had people coming here from D.C. telling me if I could get another piece of it, it'd be worth $1 billion.
Yeah. There, look. Look. What is that?
They see these 3 dome lights coming in. They look over them, there's this bright light over them. My dad blacks out and he wakes up and it's like missing time and everything. It's like he was abducted.
What we just saw is probably the craziest thing that I have ever seen.
And he went orb sighting, and he did. And there's a really cool video at the end of the interview where they talk about orb sighting. They talked about Tim Taylor. They talked about the multiple NASA and CIA and DIA people who visited Chris Bledsoe and developed a relationship with him. I know Chris has talked about this a bunch, but I think the presentation from Chris was very unique, and people should watch that documentary because it is documentary. It's 2 hours or so. So I'm going to leave links to everything in the description. But the big story of the day, I think, is how this apparent attempt at declassification and oversight on the Pentagon continues. We've seen Congresswoman Luna teasing that something's going to happen next week, some big announcement that is every day pointing more towards a potential declassification office. And today, something happened with the Pentagon that I need to cover that is related to this, or could be related to this. When I saw Unacknowledged, which is still my favorite UFO documentary from Dr. Stephen Greer, he presented a famous, or infamous, I should say, press conference just the day before September 11, 2001, of Donald Rumsfeld confessing that they misplaced, or they couldn't find $2.3 trillion. Think about that number, $2.3 trillion. In today's money with inflation, that's over $4 trillion. And that happened on September the 10th, that press conference. And Dr. Stephen Greer connected that to the whole UFO topic. I'm going to leave you this infamous statement from Donald Rumsfeld right here.
We are, as they say, tangled in our anchor chain. Our financial systems are decades old. According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions. We cannot share information from floor to floor in this building because it's stored on dozens of different technological systems that are inaccessible or incompatible.
So we all know what happened a day after that. I don't need to remind you guys. And that changed the whole conversation about the topic at the time. I don't know if you guys recall, but Dr. Hal Puthoff during 2023's Soul Foundation event, he talked about this group that presumably I think was either that time's version of MJ-12 or Zodiac or whatever you want to call them. He said that they were trying to get some kind of disclosure. And this happened also before September 11th. Then they decided that it was too much, that people couldn't handle it. and then September 11 happened. Then the conversation completely switched, understandably. But today, Secretary of Defense Peter Hegseth gave a presentation to people, high-ranking people from the Pentagon. And this is what he said.
That includes a Pentagon audit, which to the Marines out there, y'all got to figure it out. And we appreciate that. Lean and mean. We are going to focus heavily to ensure that at a bare minimum, by the end of 4 years, the Pentagon passes a clean audit. The American taxpayers deserve that. They deserve to know where their $850 billion go, how it's spent, and make sure it's spent wisely. It used to be that if you called for an audit, somehow you were undermining the department. I believe the exact opposite. I believe we are accountable for every dollar we spend, and every dollar of waste we find or redundancy is a dollar we can invest somewhere else, as President Trump has committed directly to rebuilding our nation's military. So rebuilding our military is key.
Yeah. Did you see the faces of the Pentagon people when he was saying that? I don't know what to think about this, to be honest with you, because I know there's a lot of mistrust and people from the government that just took power. As I talk to you guys right now, America is really divided. We know that. There's a lot of stuff that's happening that it has one side completely terrified, understandably, in many cases. And I don't know if whatever Hegseth said here could be accomplished. It's really difficult, I think, because the Pentagon is arguably the most powerful entity in the world. They have the most advanced weapons. They have one of the most advanced intelligence communities in the world. And they have failed 7 consecutive audits now. So this guy is saying that he's going to get a clean audit from them the next time, or at least by the end of the next 4 years, they're going to get one. That means that there's a lot of cleaning up to do and a lot of reckoning that may happen. Because if trillions of dollars haven't been accounted for, that means that that money went to either black programs or unacknowledged black programs. And if that's the case, a black program by nature, in many cases, is a program that is grossly illegal in many cases. So that means that a lot of dirty laundry is going to be aired if these audits are clean. I'm really skeptical about this. Obviously, I think everybody who's watching this is, but I got a report on it, and let's just wait and see what happens. But if for some reason they pull it off, I think that we're going to get transparency of some kind about this topic specifically, because the Pentagon is arguably the biggest responsible party for the secrecy that has been going on for 80 years. So them passing an audit means they're probably going to have to come clean on some secrets, you know? And this also coincides with another hint from Congresswoman Luna. In the last video I did of her, you guys would recall that I shared a clip of FBI incoming director Kash Patel, who talked about a 24/7 declassification office. And Congresswoman Luna posted a tweet with a picture of Kash with no context added, which could be a hint that she may be moving towards that, what he proposed. Let's just see what happens. We were just a week away from knowing whether we're getting the JFK file release or not, or the declassification or not. I think it's all tied together, you know, and we're going through very critical moments during these following days in terms of the secrecy. Whatever happens, we'll be on the other side talking about it. You can be damn sure we will. So let's see. Let me know what you think about all the podcasts and interviews that dropped today. Let me know what you think about that old clip from Donald Rumsfeld. Let me know what you think about the new clip from Peter Hegseth. Do you think they can pull it off? Do you think the Pentagon is going to come clean? I mean, for this one, though, because it's the Pentagon, just you can go wild in the comments if you want. Honestly, I don't trust them. I don't think anybody does at this point. Only if you're part of the Pentagon, you probably trust them. Even people from the Pentagon that are trying to get this secret in the open, even they are not trusted, some of them. So despite they're saying publicly that they're trying to help, even they are not trusted. So it's going to be really difficult, I think. And honestly, if you ask me, I think the current administration might be way in over their heads. I hope not. I am sending all the positivity I can so they can actually pull it off and we can get a clean audit from them. If we can get this entity to be honest to the people, I think a lot of the problems that are going on in the world could be fixed easier. But that's a really tall order, if you ask me. But that's just my opinion. I want to hear yours, so let me know. And also, let me know what you think about Congresswoman Luna's most recent image that she posted of Kash Patel. Do you think whatever she's announcing could be tied to the declassification of documents? Fingers crossed, that's the case, right? I know it's a lot of mistrust right now going on both sides, but just reporting on what's going on. Let's see what happens next week. And be on the lookout for that interview with Professor Kripal. I'm really excited. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I will, because I know I will. If you like the content you see, I'm going to ask you to please like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you can get notified when a new video drops. If you want to support the channel in any other way, I'm going to leave a few links in the description. Take your pick. And we have a members channel too. So any help you send our way, whatever it is, thank you. Thank you. And that's it for me tonight. I will leave you until tomorrow's interview with Professor Jeffrey Kripal. Holy hell. And remember, guys, stay curious. Bye.